The elders are very valuable to us. So I'll tell you a little bit about some projects that we are working on. One is the Grupo Tortuguero, which is a sea turtle protection group. And they do monitoring, tagging, tracking, and all kinds of science based on sea turtle. We are conducting traditional fisheries sustainables. We're doing a new sustainable native aquaculture system. We're working on it. We're trying to develop a good ecotourism model, real ecotourism. I don't know if ecotourism is the right term or responsible tourism, but the name is the less important thing. The important thing is respecting other people's areas and habitats, honoring the land and the wildlife. We are promoting the native food production in our area. We are trying to rescue food traditions. We are doing migratory birds monitoring, language preservation, and now there is a new component. We have been doing all that for years, but NGOs interaction. There are people willing to help with good tools and resources, and we are now learning how to interact with them. And it's maybe it is a painful process sometimes, but we are earning experience to handle that. I'll tell you about the native aquaculture project. It's based on native pen shells and oysters. Maybe pen shells is a term new to you, but they are similar to scallops. Sorry about that. That's the one on the top at your left is a native oyster, and the other ones are pen shells. Those are where the abductor mussels are obtained for food. They are commercially and culturally valued in our region. We have this traditional fishery when people walk in the intertidal areas and they look for this species of scallops for food and for as an income source, alternative income source, and requires to have the experience and the knowledge on the areas and the species and have a minimal catch size and amount because when you're walking you can't catch that much as an industrial fishery or diving. And it's a practice that is conducted not only by men but women and kids, elders, and it's like I like to call that my college because you learn a lot out in the field, and the elders are teaching 5 years old kids, and you learn a lot, and you don't realize that you're learning. That is amazing. Before to start the project about native species, we decided to get a little bit more training on Western science, and we went to a hatchery, a Mexican government hatchery. We made partnership with them in order to learn about what's beyond the reproduction of those species in order to restock the areas that have been depleted by overfishing and to have an alternative to restock the endangered areas. And we received a training on aquaculture, especially about mollusk reproduction in the hatchery. And we had the first generation of technicians, indigenous technicians in native aquaculture in our country. And we developed all the larvae cycle, all the reproduction of the mollusk, and those are the larvae stages. We feed them with microalgae, we collected them, and we obtained about 10 million larvae. That's what you have in the orange area, 10 million pen shell larvae. They are microscopic, but in the end, the technology is very new. So we are pioneers in the process, and we obtained from that 10 million larvae, we obtained only 75,000 seeds that viable for repopulation. That's how they look like, and they were alive. and then we were watching the movement and the heart beating, to see how healthy they were, and they were doing pretty good. And this is what you can't see from the traditional knowledge, but now Western science and 21st century tools can enrich the knowledge that you already have, and you can complete the cycle for a better and for the better for the environment and people. And we kept looking at them for 60 days. Then we took them to the estuary, and we did a floating pre-breeding system for 2 months. And then when they got like this size, we planted into the sea bottom. And we're still working on it. We are having, we are monitoring the survival and the growth. And we're still working on it. But that's pretty much about peninsulas. Now, I'd like to talk to you about native oysters. The species is Crassostrea cortesiensis, which is native to the Gulf of California. We did the same process at the hatchery, and we obtained the seeds of the native oysters. Oh, I forgot to mention, in 1940s, native oysters were almost depleted by overfishing because of the Japanese buyers came for looking for shark liver and oysters and all sort of seafood, and they promoted the overfishing of the Gulf of California. Barrels, they were looking for many resources, and they are very endangered. And the kids that were training the crew of this effort, they received the seeds, they counted, they did all the checking process in order to see if that was what we paid for, because we were paying a rent to the hatchery in order to obtain the seeds and to work with them. We had to, so they did all that by themselves. And we put the trays into the long line systems, and then we go once a month for cleaning, and checking and monitoring the survival, the growth, and all that things. We're assisted by elders too. They like to participate in the project, and young people. And there are not many spaces where young and elders can interact each other at just times. And we do separations, and that's what we have at the end. It's not, it's a project that is ambitious because we're looking at science and traditional knowledge in order to reach income, to reach food sources, to rescue your culture, and it's very, very ambitious. But it's an effort that we developed ourselves. It's an idea that we have, and we really believe that it's an alternative. We're trying to reseed the sea and not just extracting from the sea. And I have an invitation for you. I would like you to support our conservation efforts, morally or however you can. Support indigenous arts and crafts, not just ours, all around the world, and non-indigenous arts and crafts too. And I'd like you to eat sustainably harvested marine products, and I'd like you to practice real ecotourism. Be conscious of the places that you're visiting, the rules that they have, the culture, the value of the native species, the wildlife, and the place. Learn some more every day, and be a real ecotourist, and visit us if you can. I'll be glad to host you and at my country. And all of this that we're doing is not for me, it's not for the present, it's for them, for the kids, and we're trying to keep our environment and our people safe, and that's very human. Everyone wants their family to be okay. One last thing, if you have time, some of these days, visit the blog. It's a very basic blog. We have all this information here, videos and contact information there, and we have a